Hello and welcome to the news at 6 on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM Abuja. My name is Oikeke Igado Kure. The headlines these are: President Muhammadu Buhari signs executive order on preservation of suspicious assets. Senate calls for investigation into death of youth corps member in Abuja. And on the foreign scene, Ames berry poisoning. Britain accused Russia of using UK as dumping ground. And in sports, Eagles defender speaks on why the team lost out of the World Cup in Russia. Details of this and more in a moment. Please do stay with us. And now, the news in full. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed an executive order on the preservation of suspicious assets connected with corruption. He signed the order on Thursday at the presidential villa in Abuja. Buhari had on Wednesday, while hosting the president of Namibia, said as a military head of state, he seized corruptly acquired assets from politicians. He said most of the assets were returned to the owners when he was toppled. He said in his latest fight against corruption, all assets confirmed to be proceeds of corruption will be seized and sold off, and the proceeds returned to the National Treasury. Senate has demanded investigations into the death of a corps member, Linda Igwetu, who was killed by a policeman on Wednesday night. The matter was raised by Senator Atai Aidoko, who stated that while on her way home with her friends, the corps member was shot and rushed to the hospital. The Senate mandated the Senate Committee on Youth and Sports to investigate the death of the corps member. The Committee on Health was also directed to investigate the alleged refusal of the hospital to treat the victim. In another development, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Ibrahim Idris, has instituted specialized crack team to unravel those behind the Monday night killing of 7 police officers at Galadimawa roundabout by suspected armed bandits. The team, headed by a commissioner of police, Bala Chiroma, was given 21 days to unravel and fish out those responsible for the ambush. Police spokesman Jimo Moshud, in a statement on Thursday, said the team has already commenced investigations. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has assured of a credible, free and fair general elections next year. INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu on Wednesday in Abuja said the Commission has taken measures to track those behind the alleged hawking of permanent voter cards in some online portals. He said the Commission is far ahead of mischief makers who may want to subvert the process by trying to compromise its officials. Some Nigerians had earlier told us that INEC had to stop those trying to undermine the 2019 elections.
With the huge votes that the government allocates to INEC, I think they should be able to make their IT platform to be comparable to the Independent Commission of United States and Germany. Because if you look at the budgets that INEC alone consumes and is appropriated to, it's enough for them to fight against hackers, especially cybercrime is on the rise. So it will be shameful. 2019 election is just at the corners, and for hackers to be trying to have a field day is going to be not only a disgrace to INEC, but the entire country, Nigeria, especially now that we are trying to tell the world that we are going to move above Ghana.
Today's INEC are nothing but a pet of the present government, and I don't really have any confidence in their ability to give Nigeria a free and fair election this time around. So I'm not actually surprised that INEC knows or they are aware of this cloning and the sale of all these things. I believe that they must have been bought over by some politicians in the country in order for some of them to perpetuate themselves in power. So for me, it's all politics.
INEC cannot say they are not aware. The only thing that is good for this election is Section A4. People must come out and stand at the back of the person you want to vote for. As you stand, they do the head counting. From there, that's the only way we can get free and fair and credible election.
How large is Ghana? But Ghana has been able to organize election in one day. And world over now, the Electoral Commission of Ghana is highly respected in terms of integrity and extremeness. I think the Nigerian INEC and electoral body should follow suit, if possible, by making their IT handlers and experts to be trained immediately abroad so that they can know how to fight against these hackers.
The INEC boss had reassured that all sensitive and non-sensitive materials, processes and procedures are secured, adding that Nigerians should not be worried. Nigerians have called on government at all levels to take necessary actions to curtail the spread of waterborne diseases. The call comes as cholera outbreak continued to spread across the country. This has resulted to the death of many people in the country.
You have to look at the causes of the cholera, bad drinking water, mostly. In our country today, we have boreholes everywhere, and some of those boreholes are dug in area that is not even good enough. So I think people should learn how to take good drinking water. In an ideal condition, government is supposed to provide water for people, but nowadays we got all this things by ourselves. We see individuals trying to dig borehole by themselves. You hardly see water board anywhere now. If not some areas in Abuja here, you see water board, and in most cases their bills are very high. Common man cannot even afford to pay a bill for water board. So that's why you see people go for alternative for water. Government should try as much as possible to be responsible, because most of those basic needs that the people need, the government are unable to provide them.
I don't think the cholera is as a result of the pipe-borne water we drink. I think it comes from the streams, the local water, and they are not checking the use of feed. Most people dump waste there and other things in all your water before drinking.
If you go outside this country, you see there are a lot of public toilets. Conveniences are everywhere. But in Nigeria, you don't see any public convenience. So that's why you see pontificate everywhere they see. That's actually beginning a problem. Before, we used to have sanitary inspectors. Now, they are not really there. We should also encourage people to keep the environment clean. Especially the landlords that will build houses that they will not put toilets and all dirty environment that leads to cholera. Another thing, washing of hands. Your environment needs to be cleaned very well. And we have to maintain proper and clean sanitary environment.
In some stream, what the cow drinks, human being also drink. If the government at all levels can provide borehole in all this area that there's no water, no toilet facilities, to be okay. They concentrated in the city. They don't know what is happening in the hinterland and sensitization in the rural areas. Before that, you have to provide all those things. If not, they still go back in drinking such water. If all this amenity is not provided, this cholera of 18 will still continue.
Cholera is an infectious disease that results from eating contaminated food or drinking contaminated water. Cholera outbreaks have now been reported in 9 states across the country. A provision of safe water, proper sanitation, and food safety are critical for preventing occurrence of cholera. For allegedly beating his wife to death over 200 naira, Henry Anaile was on Wednesday remanded in prison by an Ebute Metta Chief Magistrate Court, pending advice from the State Director of Public Prosecutions. Earlier, a police inspector, Cousin Adams, told the court that the accused had found out that someone gave his wife the sum of 200 naira, which did not go down well with him. This angered the accused, who beat up his wife to death for collecting the money. The magistrate adjourned the case until August 6. And as the advocacy to end domestic violence in Nigeria continues, some people have called for sustained campaign against the scourge. This is coming as daily reports suggest an increase in the rate of violence being perpetrated against women in Nigeria.
Domestic violence most especially happens when people that are not responsible decide to face their angers in things that are not even worth it. Especially men, mostly women fall victim of this domestic violence when they happen to come in contact with men that are not responsible. Because I see men to be responsible when they are able to curtail or withstand things. What I will advise everybody is to be able to go away from things that will make you react unreasonably.
for every husband and wife. There must be true love. First of all, most parents should take care of their children, train them well, because what I see that is causing this is the fundamental family training. Some of them are lacking. When you allow your child, give her free hand to do whatever she likes, she learns so many things. But if you monitor them, they grow with it.
Pity somebody to the extent that the person cannot move or something. The person has a mental problem, because a woman just feel that, oh, the person will change. In this life, nobody changes except God wants to change that person. So if you feel that you cannot live with this, don't ever think that the future will change the person. It's better for you not to go into such a relationship. With the rate is going now, I think some men or some women really need to be examined.
That's why it's good to have courtship before marriage. Some people jump into marriage and they don't know the character of that person you're about to marry. It brings conflicts. You are from different background, also from a different background. I may not accept what you bring to my house. So the issue is that if there is courtship and again if there is education among two of them, I think there'll be a full stop for all this violence in the home.
We'll now take a short break, but we'll be right back. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. On the foreign scene, the Home Secretary has accused Russia of using Britain as a dumping ground for poison after a second incident involving the nerve agent Novichok. Charlie Roland and Damsos gas collapsed at a house in Amesbury on Saturday and remained critically ill. Sajid Javid said the agent was similar to that used on ex-Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter in March. But Russia said Theresa May's government was subjecting them to hell. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova urged police not to be led by the dirty politics, saying that she was confident that London would have to apologize to Russia. In a statement to MPs, Javid said it is time that the Russian state comes forward and explains exactly what has gone on. And in sports, Super Eagles defender Leon Balogun has attributed Nigeria's ouster from the Russia 2018 World Cup to lack of fighting spirit on the path of the team. In the last Group D match against Argentina, the Super Eagles needed to hold the Argentines for a draw to advance, but they conceded a goal with only about 5 minutes left to play. The defenders said it is always important when playing internationals to be a bit dirty. According to him, that was what Argentina had against the Eagles. And that's the news for this time, but we'd like to remind you that President Muhammadu Buhari has signed the executive order on preservation of suspicious assets. Senate calls for investigation into death of youth corps member in Abuja. And on the foreign scene, Amesbury poisoning, Britain accused Russia of using UK as dumping ground. And in sports, Eagles defender speaks on why the team lost out of the World Cup in Russia. Thank you for listening. My name is Oikeke Igado Kure.